Let me tell you something, sorry, one more thing, let me tell you something. Until we cut the mess out of these people, we'll continue to get nonsense for so much. How could you mask yourselves and go to our hallowed chambers? Come on.
You didn't answer the question about
Please remind me.
Of course,
the appointment of a spokesperson. Sorry, Ajuri, can I just have a bit of, just a minute. The appointment of a spokesperson is welcome. There was a lag. The last one was Marilyn Oga. Let's hope, again, the spokesperson doesn't become an antithesis of the DSS. Let me tell you something. It's not my field, but I know there's a difference between media relations and public relations. They tend to jumble it up. And you see people trying to do what they're not. These are skill sets. Look for the right people so that they can create the right imagery. Spoken English, the use of language is important. We see these people communicate and they say things they actually didn't mean to say, or they say it in ways that it shouldn't have come out because that's not their playground. Ajuri.
Yeah, Captain, very quickly, you cited, of course, the National Assembly siege matter. We know that that's a heavily kind of politicized matter at the moment, a lot of speculation about how that came to be, who was behind it, etc. I don't know that there's complete clarity as it relates to a conclusion on that matter. But I want to ask you about the question of the police. I know, look, obviously criticism is critical to democracy. It's important, but I want to ask you, at what point do we now proffer solutions? Because if we're saying that essentially with a broad brush, we're painting the entire Nigeria police force as being incompetent, unintelligent, incapable, then what exactly are you proffering here? Because ultimately, that's the police force that we have, and we have the challenges that we're facing, and we know that the constituted authorities are those that are going to handle the challenges we're facing. So how do we upgrade them, criticize them, but also do it in such a way that is constructive and in such a way that will move the country in a positive direction?
Thank you, Ajuri. Before I start, I want you to understand something about the nature of our job. Every security man knows that the weakest link to a chain, the strongest part of a chain is its weakest link. What does that mean? It simply means that your enemies who are also watching will take on you from the strongest or the weakest rather part of your chain. A chain is just as strong as its weakest link. Now, if we look at the weaknesses of our police forces or security agencies and we decide to mask them in niceties, at the end of the day, we will be the ultimate ones who will run to the mountains. Now, talking about solutions, let me tell you the first thing I want to do if I was in position to put my police force together. I'm going to bring about what you call a study group that is not going to go and sit in Louis Edet or any of those big brow houses, but is going to go to the footmen and ask them, who exactly is a policeman? What are your problems? You need to go into the barracks to see what I'm seeing. You see, Ajuri, let me refer you to one diagram, if you could look for it. It's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a pyramid. It's broad at the bottom and narrow at the top. And you start from the bottom to address those things and move upward until you address the psychological, okay? The psychological and immediate needs of our policemen. You can never, I promise you, build any police force that is worthy of emulation or praise. Tell me we can't criticize them because they are police force, I agree with you, but I'm doing that anyway. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Are these men well fed? Are they well dressed? Are they well trained? It was this same media brand that showed us where it was possible for 50 police cadets to share one fish. I still have it saved somewhere. These things haven't gone. They're still there. We can choose to deceive ourselves. We can choose to play to the gallery, but I won't. I speak to policemen every day. I work with them every day. These things I'm saying are things they cannot say themselves because they are sworn to oath.
Captain, we're marking the Eid al-Kabir.
Oh, yes.
It's a period of celebration.
Yes.
These security men also want to celebrate with their families.
Yes, they will.
You've been really hard-hitting
Yes, indeed.
We asked a question about the how. For the citizens who are listening, how can we become more secure? For the security men, how can they enhance the security situation until that deep shaking you talk about?
Yes, let me start with the citizens. I want to appeal to Nigerians to grow up. Salah is a prayer. It's not celebrations and ram. Do all the partying you like, eat all the ram. If that prayer is not said in a few minutes' time, there is no Salah. So what do? One, I stay off the roads. Okay? The proportion of your vulnerability to all those things we have on our roads today is directly proportional to how frequent you are on the road. So get to those roads only when it's possible. What am I doing today? I'm buying enough airtime, just like 1K or 500 naira. I do conference call. I wish everybody Eid Mubarak. Then I cook my rice at home and eat it there. If you must risk going all the way home to eat just rice, well, understand the risks on the road. To my dear law enforcement agents, I'm going to share only one thing with you if you are listening. I expect you to know it, but that's the 101 of things. That uniform you are wearing and that gun you are holding is a problem. Someone wants to kill you and take that gun. For God's sakes, stay alert. Forget the money. Forget all those things that are what I want to call side takes or sidelines now?
The sidekicks.
The sidekicks. Do just what you ought to do. By so doing, you're going to get reckoning from the citizens. You're going to get fear from your what? Adversaries. If you continue to do those things that render you vulnerable, then you have a problem. Let me add a second one. This one is for the IG. I plead with you on behalf of these men, their wives and children. They become widows when these men fall. Send your men to Infantry Center and School Jaji. Let them go and learn springing, execution, and principles of checkpoints. It's a course I have done.
At that point, we'd like to thank you, Captain Aliyu Umar, retired, for sharing your thoughts with us on the security situation in the country. And we'll be back in just a moment.
And
join us again.